Hello and welcome to another episode of Express Mobility. Today we have with us Mr. Vivek Chaand Sehgal, who is the chairman of Motherson Group. For the unversed, he represents India's largest automotive component player, and he is a first-generation entrepreneur. And the more I mean, we've got dozens of lines to describe him, but he's he's quite dynamic. And so, to begin with, how do you assess the global the challenges the automotive industry is facing, be it freight, semiconductor shortage, Russia-Ukraine conflict, then you've got the China-Taiwan conflict now. So it has become quite unpredictable. So how do you manage this such a challenging scenario?
A great question. And I am a first generation entrepreneur. Just my mother and me started. So I don't know. There is some confusion there. But yes, we both started manufacturing and then building up this company together. I think you said very well. This is a very challenging time, and multiple challenges are coming. Time and again, new challenges appear and then disappear. It's like that. So I think what we as a company have done is we have been on our toes. We are very responsive to what the customer needs. Apparently, because of the COVID, the electronics went through the roof, and so the IC conductor shortages and all these particular things happened. But also logistics got really, all containers got jammed up in different ports in the world. And a lot of things happened. So I think somebody is going to write a book to really explain this whole particular mess. But I think one thing is very clear. Motherson's focus on the automotive became even stronger. And we are seeing the thing play out very well. Every challenge that the industry has got, the car industry, the OEMs, the suppliers, the dealers, everybody, believe me, they have found ways and means which are amazing and ingenious to solve these particular problems. But yeah, in the short term, it does affect.
And till date you have acquired more than 27 companies, and last year also
29.
29. That's what I was coming. Last year, you made some smart acquisitions at low valuations, or when the market was correcting itself, you made smart gains over there. So for this year, is there a number in your mind for acquisitions, or it's a continuous ongoing process for you?
It's an ongoing process, and we never sort of wake up in the morning and say, okay, today I want to acquire this company, tomorrow I'll acquire that, or something like that. Our focus is always on the customer. The customer tells us which companies he wants us to take over and help him actually, because he's in trouble at that time, because if one component is missing, the car cannot be made.
Correct.
So we have a clear vision, which is to be a globally preferred sustainable solution provider. We just amended it. And so the customer has given us, we are inundated by the amount of calls that we have got from our customers to take over companies.
And as you mentioned, the OEMs are demanding more and more of integration from their suppliers. Do you see that, with this, the way that you are supplying content to OEMs, that will, for smaller players, it will be either be absorbed or perish. Will that be the situation for SMEs, or do you see that there will be a coexistence?
I don't think it is going to affect the SMEs so much because they cannot or they want to do it or not. But I think the situation, depending upon that country and the OEM in that country, how he expects, that may throw challenges to them. But it's not really for SME only. It's there for medium and for even big companies. Huge companies are falling at the moment.
Correct. And one more phenomenon that we are seeing is that the mega trend of case connected autonomous shared electric. That is how much will that impact the traditional component business for you, and will that with this new mega trend, how much content the value addition you are being able to provide to your OEM clients?
So I think case is something where the jury is still out. On my personal side, I don't believe that in the next 5 years or till 2025, it will play out in such a big way. And if it has, it's already played out. You today connect your phone seamlessly with your car. You are talking about autonomous. Autonomous, I think, has other problems, which I would recommend you to have a look at, because in these kind of uncertain times, completely autonomous cars are going to be very difficult for the governments to give you approval for. So there are a lot of challenges. I'm sure in 2060, 2070, maybe that might be the thing. But then I'm going to see it in my next life. So
Correct.
I'm a Hindu, so I don't have a problem. So I will see it in the next life. I really wonder whether I'm going to see it this life or not. So
Correct.
I think,
And
yeah,
yeah,
just talking about case, it's not so easy. But yeah, if the government is pro it, then definitely it will happen.
correct. And you had you have officially announced that your target is to meet $36 billion revenue company at a group level. Uh, has the COVID-led pandemic delayed that plans, or is it on track? And by when do you think that you'll be able to achieve that target?
A great question, Elish. The thing is that we all sat down in December 2019, and then we evaluated. COVID, we were seeing COVID already playing out in China because we have 29 facilities in China. We were seeing that play out over there. So I think the group took a very pragmatic decision. We said, 75% of our turnover will come from automotives, and we have four new verticals. And these verticals, we are going to get $9 billion from there. So we kept a big, vast number for all the people to be clearly guided by the group that this is what we are looking for. So that's how we kept 36. The COVID carried on for 2 years. In spite of that, we are not going to rewrite our target or the rows either. We think that much more opportunities are going to be around the corner. So we will live with that.
And one more, you've seen the Indian automotive industry evolve over the years from right from one player to now a dozen more than dozen players in the market. One new phenomenon that we are seeing is the rise of EV startups with crazy valuations. How do you see that, even before selling a product, the companies are talking about being a unicorn or something that crazy valuation game? Do you see this is something that will sustain itself, or is it another bubble?
So, Nilesh, I can't comment on that, but all I can tell you is whenever people focus on valuations and not on the product, things will go wrong. And wind will be taken away from the sales if you do not focus on the product.
Okay.
So I don't say what they're doing is right or wrong or what is the market, because hey, market is king, whatever they decide they do. But I think whenever people focus more on valuations and unicorns and semicons and whatever you like, you can say, but they don't focus on the product, then you will have a lot of ups and downs. And one particular thing which is interesting for you to maybe through you to tell your viewers is that up till now, no car company in the world has asked us to look at any startup which has to be sort of resuscitated. If it's died, they let it die. And that means that there is no urgency for the car maker to revive it. Now, you may say that, anyway, these guys are all startups, but I think the car makers are very closely watching what is happening with the startup environment. And you can see that many of the car makers are also participants in these companies. But I don't think they want it. A lot of investors are there putting the money, so they say let it burn. We don't really. I think they don't think twice about it.
Okay. And coming to your focus on the Indian market, how do you see the Indian market growing over the next few years? What is the indication that your customers are giving you about the potential of the market? And lastly, what are the challenges you foresee for, challenges and new opportunities in the global as well as Indian automotive market?
So I think car market is very steady, and the demand is robust. A lot of people try and give a color to the demand, but I'm telling you, mobility is here to stay. And it's not going to be something just short term and all that. We were in Europe we couldn't get a car, a rental car also. Can you believe it? So that's the kind of thing that is there. People are wanting to leave their cities and go, whatever, and move. So I think people have not understood their life is not a telephone, it's not an iPad. You need mobility, you need to go out. I personally feel that, yes, there are going to be interesting challenges that are going to come around. It's very important. Environment is extremely important. Sustainability is extremely important. So I think, yes, the solutions will be found by the people themselves. And I don't have any doubts that the automotive industry is going to go from pillar to pillar strength.
Thank you, Mr. Sehgal. I know we are short on time, and I really appreciate you taking your time out and share, speaking with us. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of another interesting episode of Express Mobility. Till we meet you next time. Thank you, Mr. Sehgal. I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. Bye-bye.